about 9 times the speed of sound. Roger.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of the S4 restorations. As you saw in episode 1, I bought myself the cheapest, most disgusting Audi S4 in North America. The interior is more or less ruined, the engine is damaged, the roof is leaking, the car needs a lot of work. However, we're gonna try and rescue it. All right. Step number 1, and you saw it, I really wanted to grab the driver's side seat because it's in a lot worse condition than this, but I wasn't able to because the seat is stuck in the rail and I cannot move it forward. And if I cannot move it forward, I cannot access the back two bolts. I can't get the seat out. Unfortunately, it's gotten really cold outside, so I will not be able to do that this year. But this is the next best thing. So what I've done is I've spent the last day or two just kind of reading up a little bit about leather restoration and sort of what the process is, what we need to do. This is the first time I've done this. Normally, I prefer to buy black seats and just kind of give them a quick wash, clean, sort of like a conditioner, and just leave it at that because you can't really tell a whole lot with the black seats until they start wearing off. This is a cream color, and actually thanks to my buddy John for correcting me. So I guess this is a cream color interior, so everything shows, all of the dirt shows, and especially for the seats that have probably never been conditioned in their life. So we're gonna jump right into it. Just very quickly before I do that, I just wanna show you the sort of collection of stuff that I got here to try and sort the seat out. If you've kind of watched other folks doing DIYs on interiors, you've probably seen some of these tools already being used, so I had to go and pick them up, but thankfully they're not expensive. Okay, so this is actually pretty cheap stuff that you can get on Amazon or at your local Canadian Tire or whatever your store is there, and we're gonna see how effective they are. All right, so let's start off with what we've got here. So this is the passenger side seat. You've seen close-ups. I'm gonna go around it with the camera just so you can kind of see some of the areas I'm really going to pay attention to. It's the passenger side seat, and what I've got here is the sort of armrest from the back seat. Okay, now the back seat, as far as I can tell, you saw it in video number 1. The bottom is done. I guess that's where the water was leaking, so the bottom's done. So what I'm doing is I'm actually using the center piece there as sort of a test article, because my assumption is I'm going to be changing the back seat anyways. So I'm not too worried if I actually end up screwing up this leather. So I'm going to try the chemicals that I want to use on this first to make sure that we don't, they don't damage the leather or anything like that, and then we can go ahead and apply them on the seat. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I already started cleaning this up yesterday just to kind of try a couple of things out. And in fact, I'm even going to show you one of the bolsters that kind of tried it a little bit as well, but I didn't have half of the things here, so it was more of just a preliminary test. So that's that. Okay. Rags, pretty obvious. Now, there's sort of two parts to the seat. So you've got the leather seat, and you've got a lot of plastic trim around it. Okay, so for the leather, this is the sort of cleaner condition that I use normally. Like I was saying, I've never really spent too much time trying to clean leather all that much. So this 2-in-1 has done a pretty good job, and I've used it on, couches. I've used it on probably about 5-6 different car seats. So it does a pretty decent job, and it kind of maintains a black seat. It does a good job. However, I did try it yesterday, and it was not strong enough to really clean this up on its own. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see whether in a combination with the brushes today it might do a better job, but yesterday this was not good enough, so I'll give it another try today. This one came highly recommended actually. Now it's pH balanced, so it should be good for the leather. It shouldn't really do any damage, and this is supposed to be one of the best cleaners for leather out there. So leather cleaner from Chemical Guys. This was on Amazon, but I figured out yesterday it's actually in my local car store as well has it, so this should be pretty good. The kit, when you buy it, comes with the conditioner as well, so you can tell this is now 2 products as opposed to 2-in-1 like the Megars. So this should be pretty good. We'll see how that goes. Collection of brushes here. These things come in as a kit, a couple of different sizes here. It's actually really convenient. You just put in your driver or drill, whatever the case is. So I think I'm going to use these because honestly, yesterday I was trying to do it without a brush and it really didn't work very well. I only had a painter's brush. You can pick it up from anywhere. It's like $3. it did a decent job, but I think what it is it's a little too big, so it gets a little bit hard to get into the tight spots, but actually did a pretty decent job. I also picked up a regular Bristol brush from the local store there just to try that out. And obviously you've probably seen those, I think they're like interior detailing brushes, so I picked up a set of those. They were like $12, wasn't anything that crazy. Regular sponge. This is a brush that I've used to clean up more serious stuff. I'm really gonna try to avoid really hard to touch the seat with this brush because it's actually quite rough. Okay, this is for real dirty stuff. So maybe we're gonna use it on the inside here. We're gonna see how bad it actually is for that. Two other things. I got just a regular heavy duty cleaner here. I've seen people try this on the seats depending on how dirty they are. I'm gonna try and avoid doing that. However, this should be really good for all the plastic trim around. We're gonna see how well this does. And lastly, I saw a video on YouTube that had a guy basically do an entire Mercedes backbench, leather backbench with Windex only. And he went from basically black with dirt to sort of reconditioned like brand new. I'm curious about this because obviously everybody's got lots of Windex at their house. So this might be a very easy solution if it actually works. To be honest, I doubt you will, but we'll give it a try. Yesterday when I was playing with this guy, I noticed that without using my steamer, I wasn't really able to get any of the dirt out. So I'm not even gonna waste my time to try and do this by hand without the steamer. So basically what I'm gonna do is for each half, I'm going to steam first to warm up and soften the leather. And then we're going to use the chemical with a brush. So spray, brush, and see if we can get it up, okay? So that's about it. I want to show you the seat just so you can kind of get a before, and I'm going to take some pictures of it so we can have some good comparison for after. Okay, let's do it. All right, here's the seat up close just so you can kind of get an idea. Hopefully the camera will be able to capture that. Now I've got 3 lights on the seat right now and it's still a little bit hard to see. So here, this little streak is where yesterday I had the steamer on the bolster trying to clean that up. So you can kind of see the difference between what got picked up just with the steam alone. This is how dirty this is. And yep, that's mold right there. You can kind of see it. So this will definitely need the steam there just to try and clean that up. Other than that, lots of dirt. Now, all in all, dirt aside, the seats are not in a terrible condition. You've got a bit of a wear there, and you've got a little bit of a wear on the bolsters, but honestly, really nothing too crazy. So on the passenger seat anyways, I'm gonna try my best to not destroy the leather further and just try and wash it. It's a bit of a dark, dirty spot right there as well that I'd like to handle. So it's not too bad. Plastic is very dirty. Now the good thing is that with this seat out, I can actually try and figure out if there's a way for me to actually separate the seat from the rail so that I can actually take the seat off the rails, which might be helpful when I start doing the driver's side. And just looking at it now, perhaps undoing this, maybe something at the back there, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to try and figure something out because honestly, I have no other way of getting the driver's seat out. There, still pretty dirty on the side. It's pretty bad right there where the seat belt sits. Now it's kind of funny to see the seat being that dirty at the back. Normally you wouldn't have too many people sitting in the back, so God knows what they were carrying back there. Again, very dirty plastic here. And dirty plastic on this side. So that's it. I'm gonna take some pictures and we'll get right to work. Now the first thing we want to do is we want to vacuum the seat as much as possible to try and get all of the dirt from all of the creases here so that it doesn't get worked into once we start cleaning this up. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to steam these one spot at a time. I already said I've kind of done the bolster here, so I'm just going to touch it up once everything else is done, but I'm going to try and do these one at a time. So we're going to steam it. We're going to spray it with the cleaner. Then we're going to agitate it with the brush and then wipe it off with the towel. Should be pretty straightforward. This is my basic steamer. I use this for other car stuff. So this does a pretty decent job, as you can see right there, to actually warm up the leather and get a lot of the dirt off and collect it here. So let's try this panel first. All right, so that's the first thing. So now the leather is nice and warm. It's gotten, and you can also see that actually a lot of the dirt has already come out. So it wipes off quite a bit just with the steam alone. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try the Chemical Guys leather cleaner. Okay, this it says spray onto the cloth and work it into the leather. So we're gonna do just that. But once we've got it on the seat, we're probably gonna have to use the brush. So it is taking out something. This is old. This is the new stuff. So it's definitely doing something, but it's by no means getting sort of the clean seat that we were hoping for. So let's try that again. Okay, so we've taken quite a lot, but you can still see where the leather's kind of cracking up a little bit. There's quite a lot of dirt there. So we're still gonna have to get into that and try and clean that up. The one thing you will notice is this seat is actually appears to be damaged. I'm not really sure what caused this particular bit here, but that's kind of the same leather here, and then you've got a bit of a wear there, but maybe that's from where whoever was sitting on it or whatever the case is. So the chemical on its own is not really doing enough. Now let's see if we can get a brush going here and see if that will help. So here's my my trusty Milwaukee. We're gonna spray the chemical in the brush. All right, let's take a look. You really don't want to let any of this stuff dry on the seat. Okay, so this is not too bad. We've gotten quite a bit out, but the seat is damaged enough that I don't think we're gonna get it back to a complete clean thing. Now, what I do want to do is I want to try the steam again on top of this to see if that will remove the last bit. Now, before we hit this with the steam again, I just want to show you, and I hope you're going to see that on the camera. So there's still quite a lot of dirt that can be seen here, okay, on this particular panel. So I'm going to try this with the steam one more time, just to see what happens. Now there's a bit of a wearing there that I'm not really doing anything about at this point. Right now we're just trying to see how clean we can get. But I mean, you can kind of see already the difference between this part and this part. So this cleaned up quite well. Like you can see the two bolsters there, and you can see the one that I haven't done. So let's hit it with the steam, and then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the whole seat, and we're gonna see if there's gonna be parts that we're gonna be able to handle better than others. Thing is, I'm gonna start being a little more careful here on the front, because you can start seeing how the leather is starting to wear off. Now, I didn't do this. These are the scratches over there already. Like, you know, you can see these ones. But the more I hit it with the brush, the more I hit it with the steamer, these things are gonna really start showing off. The thing is, I think we got it about as clean as this is gonna get. Unfortunately, the seat itself is already in a rough condition, so without further restoration of the leather, we're not going to be able to get much out of this. But I'm a little more hopeful about the rest of the seat, so let's see if we can get that sorted out. Alright guys, so this side is done. The leather's in a pretty rough condition to begin with. It washed off pretty good. I mean, there's still some spots that I can probably hit up. I'm gonna steam up again and all that stuff, but you can see from the difference with the right bolster, which I haven't done, is quite a bit. This is where the brush kind of came through and it took a bunch of the dirt out. So actually the seats are now the bottom anyways is more or less clean. Except for the leather is pretty rough, so you can see all these specks here, all damages to the leather. Like this looks like almost like a cigarette burn of some sorts, but like I said, this leather hasn't been conditioned in a very long time, so actually this is gonna be, it's gonna need a dye of some sorts or some sort of leather repair on top. So I steamed the whole thing up. I sprayed it with the Chemical Guys cleaner and cleaned it a couple of times. Now, obviously the seat was pretty bad to start with, so I wasn't expecting anything spectacular here. The bolster's a little worn out, but honestly, it didn't clean as well as I had hoped. It cleaned, you know, the basic stuff is pretty good. You know, the basic stuff got cleaned up. You know, we got the mold out of here. That's pretty important. It's a lot cleaner now as you can tell from this rag, which was brand new when I started. So all of that came off the seat. So obviously we took a lot. Now, as far as the leather cleaner goes, to be honest, I would have liked to have something that's a little bit thicker. I think the Chemical Guys one kind of leaks down, doesn't really stay into these spaces. So I would have liked to see something that's a little thicker that, you know, I can spray, will kind of stay, and then I can just kind of work it. I'll see if I can find something for the second pass around. Other than that, I mean, the seat is pretty good. Now, it's certainly usable, right? Like I can put that back in the car and I can drive on it. Let's see how well we actually did. The bolsters came out pretty good. I'm really happy with this stuff here. The problem is that, as you can see on this, it's already like the actual leather or the pad underneath, I'm not sure which one, is already damaged. See, it's quite a bit of this. I can't really do anything about this, and you can kind of see that same sort of thing come up here. So it almost looks like wherever the high traffic area here, if you will, the bolsters and stuff like that, kind of got polished a little bit while the rest of the leather didn't. So that's not very good. The edges here got cleaned up pretty good. That's all right. I think, to be honest, this thing is the sort of the star of the show, because all of the plastic cleaned out really well. Right now, even going on the side here, these should have been fairly easy to clean, because honestly, like, this shouldn't really have any, you know, if there's a stain, perhaps just a little scuff, but these should have cleaned out almost to new condition, but they didn't. So the cleaner that I used, not the best. Even the back, you know, this stuff should have cleaned out a little bit better. This is now nice and clean, but that's thanks to the thanks to this guy, right? That was the one that took care of that, including the airbag cover here and the plastics down here. So this is quite nice now. The only thing I'm wondering, and I have read people using stuff like this on the leather, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of reading and try and figure out whether, I mean, you know, the seat's already pretty bad, so it's going to be hard to be afraid to ruin it. I mean, there's not much that can go wrong with it, but I'll try and do something a little bit stronger for the cleanup. See if we can actually get these sort of the dirt that's really built in there. Try and get that out. And again, this is more of an exercise in just trying out these products, because frankly, I'm going to be looking for a new interior one way or another, and I'd really like to get something that's that's black. I found a beige interior at the junkyard today that was actually in a pretty good condition, but again, it's just a light color, and I'm not a huge fan. And the problem is that I need the door cards are this cream color. So either I need to get the whole interior, or I'm going to have mismatch on the door cards. Anyways, that's it for now. We're going to try to do the same thing with the driver's side seat. It's a lot worse, and it's also got a little more damage to it. But I can get, certainly, look, judging from this, I can definitely get the two seats to a condition where, you know, we can put them in the car and at least drive around until I'm able to find a better solution. All right, so that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for joining me. As always, if you like what you see, thumbs up. If you want to see more, click subscribe, and I'm gonna see you next time. Cheers.